And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Paid for by U.S. Medical Supply.
Call 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638. Again, 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638.
Selling your house the traditional way takes time. Agents, showings, repairs, fees. It's a hassle. But what if you could skip it all and sell your home for cash fast? At House Buyer Network, we buy homes in any condition. No commissions, no closing costs, no cleaning, no repairs. Whether it's inherited, outdated, or you're behind on payments, we'll make you a fair cash offer within 24 hours. Close in as little as 7 days. Thousands have sold the easy way. Now it's your turn. Call 833-719-5877 for your free no-obligation cash offer. That's 833-719-5877. House Buyer Network. Real cash, real fast. That toll-free number once again to call, 833-719-5877.
Offers are typically below market value in exchange for speed and convenience. Call for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or dragster.
KCFX HD4 Harrisonville, K279PI Kansas City, 103.7 FM. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
America's largest all-sports radio station presents the #1 motorsports show for over 2 decades, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Track Talk. I'm Kirk Elliott. Scott Traylor will join us a little bit later on in the show. We're happy to have you along here on a beautiful Saturday morning. A little bit foggy out there getting in, Todd. It was kind of, I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, we were up pretty late last night watching a little bit of
watch that baseball game.
Baseball didn't get over with until 3 in the morning or whatever it was. So yeah, I saw the dense fog advisory and I thought, I better remember that. Well, I didn't remember that, and I'm driving over the Missouri River this morning.
I didn't hear about the fog advisory. We're glad we made it in.
Anyway. It was thick out there, so be careful if you're driving out there today, guys.
I was driving back from Lakeside Speedway last night, listened to that baseball game, and heard the end of it, or saw the end of it, as the Mariners win. But, saw some great racing last night out at Lakeside Speedway. The High Limit sprint cars are in town. Some of the best sprint car drivers in the world were at Lakeside Speedway last night. They're going to be there again tonight. And last night, it was Brent Marks from Pennsylvania winning his 4th high-limit race of the season, his 7th of his career, leading all 25 laps of the race. And, that alone would lead people to think, if you didn't see the race, that it was kind of boring. Well, it was not boring because there was a lot of action behind Brent Marks as they worked through lap traffic last night, and especially the battle for second between Aaron Reitzel and Brad Sweet. Those two swapped second place a couple of times in the last 5 laps, with Reitzel getting Sweet at the end. And why that is so important is because we're getting down to the end of the season where points are on the line. Rico Abreu came into the night with a 53-point lead over Sweet, the defending high-limit champion and winner of the last 6 straight national sprint car champions. He won 5 in a row in the World of Outlaws before joining up with Kyle Larson to start the high-limit series, then won last year's championship. But Sweet wasn't able to hang on to the lead heading into the final month of the season, and therefore Brad Sweet is going to be a guy that is in a place that he's not used to being in, and that is the Hunter. And he is trying to chase down Rico for the championship. He tightened it up just a little bit last night because Rico finished 9th. It's now down to 39 points.
Man.
At 53 down to 39. We'll see what happens tonight. We're going to hear from Rico Abreu
it was a good
in the show. We did an interview with him on Mondays, mostly motorsports show, and we'll play that here in just a little while. We're also going to hear from Aaron Reitzel, who is in the mix, not for the Drivers' Championship, but with Ridge & Sons, the Owners' Championship. And that is because Aaron had to sit out a couple of months after an injury at Eldora Speedway, a broken foot. And he just got off the crutches. Even though he was still driving a race car, he was hobbling around on crutches for about a month.
Yeah.
He's ditched the crutches now, and he is on fire. Even though he didn't win last night, he is in the mix with Ridge & Sons for the Owners' Championship. So we'll talk a lot about that today because that's the big story of racing in and around the Kansas City area. Very fast racetrack last night, Todd.
That's what I heard, huh?
It was wet. Yeah. I'm not sure how much water they put on it, but
the temperatures, it
was wet.
It was chilly, and then
did it rain much out there yesterday? They said it was going to rain in the morning.
Yeah, we got a little bit, Kirk. We were heading to go. But it wasn't enough to sneeze at. I mean, I didn't. I mean, not at my house. Now, I'm 3 miles away. Who knows? They could have picked up more rain than maybe what they even thought of, because they're closer by the river down there. So it could have picked up some rain. But hopefully tonight, Kirk, got another night to go with it. So maybe they get that track. We'll be all dialed in tonight.
Yeah, if it's not as wet tonight, I think that'll be a good thing. That'll lend for just a little bit more passing. The preliminary races last night it's hard to make any passes last night, but it was much better. The feature was the best race of the night, which that's what you want to see, is the A main being the best race of the night.
Absolutely.
So it was still pretty fun to watch, and Brent Marks is the winner, and Aaron Reitzel finishes in second place. Let's hear some sound I've got sound from the top 5 finishers from last night. First, the Myerstown Missile, Brent Marks, following his feature victory last night at Lakeside.
I mean, it was tough. The track had a lot of speed in it and multiple lines. So, lap traffic was just kind of, running high, low, sometimes middle, and the track was really heavy too. So, a lot of mud being kicked up, and it was difficult, but it was a lot of fun. Just awesome to get a win here at Lakeside and get us win number 4 in a year with High Limit. So, just really proud of this Murray Marks Motorsports team for doing an awesome job.
Just through what lines on the racetrack were you able to find that you could get around the best here, and did it surprise you how you were able to get around?
Yeah, honestly, I was able to make all the lines work. I felt like I carried a lot of speed when I needed to around the top. When I needed to kind of maneuver around somebody running the bottom and top a little bit, I could roll through the middle and gain some traction there, and that was good. And I could roll the bottom there towards the end of the race when I was trying to get underneath some guys who were running the top, and the car just stuck really good. So I was just really thrilled with how this thing handled and how it was able to maneuver no matter where I put it on the racetrack.
Seems like your overall performance has really picked up here over the last 2 or 3 months. What's been the ticket to you guys running a lot better?
Just a lot of hard work. We put in the effort to be better, and looking for some more resources out there that helps propel us to the next level. And we've been searching for that, and we've just been learning a lot. So it's just hard when you go from track to track and you start working on something and it seems to work okay, and then you just get to a whole different region and then you kind of fight it a little bit again. So, but we've been able to dial in no matter where we go and been pretty well.
When you come back on Saturday night, are you expecting the track to be the same?
I don't know, honestly. I feel like they'll let it be a little bit drier than it was tonight. But with early sunset, a lot of moisture in the air, the track just gains moisture throughout the night. So we just keep that into consideration.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Brent Marks, the winner last night, and Aaron Reitzel, even though we're going to hear from him here just a little bit in an interview we did earlier this week, here is his compliments from last night's second-place finish.
I just made like 2 mistakes there on the start of the race. I should have blocked the top. And, I got to Brent one time, and I just got a little low and almost hit the infield tire and had to swerve around it. And then Brad got me, and I had to race back around Brad. So I think I just need to clean up my driving a little bit.
How big was that get back around Brad there at the end there for a second?
Yeah, I mean, every point matters, so definitely big, but yeah, I'd much rather won.
And finally, Brad Sweet, who cut into Rico Abreu's points lead last night, finishing third in the Casey Kane number 49. Finished third. Well, you gained a little ground on Rico. What's that like being the hunter instead? You're used to being the hunted.
Yeah, it's I tell you sleep a little better because you're not as stressed. They're kind of at peace with everything that we've accomplished, and so if we win this year, we win. And honestly, I'm happy for Rico if he wins. It's a very friendly competition, but we're trying hard. We want to put pressure on him. We want to win the races, and we want to finish on a strong note with this Napa car. We've had a rough year, to be behind. I felt like we had it under control there for a while, and just had a lot of things not go our way, and had some injuries and some crew changes and just a lot of adversity. And the fact that we're even in the hunt with 4 to go is a testament to the grit and determination that we have here with this team. So we'll see what happens. So honestly, it's just one night at a time. We'll try our best, and we'll try to end on the strongest note we can and see how the points shake out.
Brad Sweet coming through with a third-place finish. He's run a lot better. Boy, they went through a little bit of turmoil. Remember Knoxville Nationals time? They let the crew chief go. Casey Kane decided to step out of his number 9 car and focus his efforts on the 49, and the crew had to be shuffled around a little bit, and that took a little bit of time to get worked through that. But it looks like Sweet has run a lot better here at the end of the year, so we'll see how he does tonight. We're planning on having Brad Sweet on our show on Monday, so we'll talk to him about how the High Limit Racing Series is going. He's the co-founder with Kyle Larson on the High Limit Series, and talk about Wednesday night at Lucas Oil Speedway, midweek show going on down at Wheatland coming up on Wednesday night. We'll hear from the 4th and 5th place finishers, Dason Persley and Chase Randall, a little bit later on in the show. So look forward tonight to complete new show tonight out at Lakeside.
I liked how he said he was able to sleep a little better. How about that, Kirk? Not having people breathing down his neck trying to defend that championship.
Yeah, the stress happens when you're out in front and you're leading.
When you've got everybody coming at you every night. So like you said, he was able to get some good shut-eye. So that's always nice to hear. So
the biggest news in sprint car racing this week has to be the passing of Bobby Allen, the great Hall of Fame sprint car driver who owned Shark Racing, and his son, Jacob Allen, was a driver up until this year, but still maintaining the 1A car out on the road. And his grandson, Logan Schuart, who had a good finish last night at New Egypt in the World of Outlaws. Shark Racing was still at the racetrack last night, but Bobby Allen, who passed away suddenly on Sunday of this week at the age of 81 years old, will be remembered mostly for winning the 1990 Knoxville Nationals. I remember that very well. That was in the midst of Wolfgang and Kinzer and Swindell at the height of their careers. Kinzer had already won 6 Knoxville Nationals at that time and was favored to win in 90, but had some issues that night. But Bobby Allen was there to pick up the pieces and win on dramatic fashion in 1990. And he won some other races as well. He won a National Open one year. He was a winner of 275-plus A-feature victories, 30 of them on the World of Outlaws Tour. And they called him Scruffy, and he will be missed. Saw him up at Knoxville here a few weeks back and seemed to be in great shape. And he was right out there to the very end. And we just wished our sympathies to Logan Schuart, Bobby's son Jacob, his entire family, and everybody at Shark Racing for the loss of Bobby Allen. Probably the big news that came out of Pennsylvania this past week was Sheldon Haudenschild winning a crown jewel event, the National Open, and he is on the way out at Ricky Stenhouse Marshall Racing. He announced that he and his crew chief Kyle Ripper are going to be moving on at the end of the season. And what was shocking after Sheldon Haudenschild winning at Williams Grove Speedway and pocketing $75,000 was the next day Ricky Stenhouse announced that Kyle Ripper is out as the crew chief.
That's crazy.
And he's bringing in Kyle Pruitt. Now, Pruitt was crew chief for Logan Schuart at Shark Racing up until just a couple of weeks ago. And it was a good interview that Sheldon Haudenschild had with Connor Wade. It's up on YouTube right now. He really explained it. And if you hear Ricky Stenhouse explain the move, it makes a lot of sense because he knew that Kyle Ripper was going out with Sheldon Haudenschild at the end of the year. There's rumors of where they're going to be in and up. A lot of people think they're going to end up with the KCP number 18 team, but that announcement has not been made. But Stenhouse announced that, hey, we got to look forward to next year. So he wants to bring in a crew chief now that can organize everything and get the ball rolling for 2026. So bringing in Kyle Pruitt, who's going to be his crew chief moving forward, they'll announce a driver coming up here in a couple of weeks. I get where Stenhouse is coming from.
Absolutely.
And
so, who's the rumored driver now, Kirk? Who do you think?
I don't know.
I know.
I mean, I've heard some names out there,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly sure which direction. We thought maybe Dazen Pursley was going to be
that
the
was-
guy,
that
but
was
now
the-
we're hearing something else.
I know, that was-
Dazen is going to be in somebody else's car. So the silly season
Silly
in
season.
sprint car racing is well in force
Yes,
right now.
still
So
going on, isn't it?
we'll just have to see how that all goes here over the next couple of weeks. But congratulations to Sheldon Haudenschild, who won his first Triple Crown win of his career, and what a time to do it when he's leaving the team and headed. So I think it helps his stock
Makes
wherever
his
he
stock
goes.
go up, doesn't it?
Yeah. And Sheldon's had kind of an up and down last couple of years. He's had some rough moments and some just not the consistency just hasn't been there.
Well, good luck for him. Good on him. You know, like you said, that's a good feather to have in your cap going out the door, right?
Yes, that's
mean,
that's $75,000 too. That's a big deal. So, congratulations to Sheldon Haudenschild. Last night, Carson Macedo wins on the World of Outlaws Trail at New Egypt Speedway in New Jersey. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, he battled with Logan Schuart for the win last night. How big would that have been had Logan won the feature last night just after the passing of his grandfather, Bobby Allen?
Yeah.
That would and tip. I got to give a tip to Carson for bringing it up in Victory Lane. He first thing out of his mouth
Yeah, that's good on him.
was say, hey, I just want to say it was an honor to race Logan there for the win. And
that's
it was all about Bobby Allen before he started talking about the race.
That's
So
a good human right there. That's good stuff.
that is good that Carson did that. And that's a big win for Carson Macedo last night at New Egypt. They're going to be at Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania tonight on the World of Outlaws. And congratulations to Tim McCready. T-Mac wins his second straight World of Outlaw late model feature last night at Boot Hill Speedway in Louisiana. That was after he won at 81 Speedway near Wichita last Saturday night. So he's on a little bit of a roll. It was kind of a strange occurrence at 81 last week when Bobby Pierce, who was supposed to start on the pole of the feature, was penalized for making unapproved adjustments to the car before they rolled to the grid for the green flag. You're not, I guess in the World of Outlaw rules, you're not supposed to touch the car. And they were putting some air into one of the tires. And I didn't know they had that rule.
I didn't either,
You couldn't
Kirk.
do that. To the World of Outlaw late models. But Bobby Pierce was sent to the back
How about that?
for the start of that race. And, of course, that allowed Tim McCready to really take charge and speed on. Pierce, he finished on the podium last night behind McCready. So Pierce, it seems like he hadn't won for a while, but McCready is on a little bit of a roll. And congratulations to Kyle Cummins on his way to the USAC Non-Wing Sprint Car Championship. He is going to win that points championship running away. He picks up a feature victory last night. Very exciting USAC Non-Wing Sprint Car race at Lawrenceburg Speedway last night. Looked like Justin Grant was going to be the guy to beat, but he pulled off with some mechanical issues, and it was Kyle Cummins dominating the race, holding off Chase Stockin, Jake Swanson, Logan Seavey, and Ricky Lewis rounding out the top 5. They'll be back at Lawrenceburg tonight. And how about this, Todd? Whit Gastineau wins his first ever on the ASCS National Tour at Salt City Raceway in Hutchinson, Kansas last night. He outruns Blake Hahn for the win. Blake gave him a pretty good run there for a little bit, but Whit had it all dialed in.
Had it in, didn't
at
he?
Salt City
well,
last
we
night.
hate seeing Blake not pick up the win, but you love to see somebody that pick up their first win like that. That's awesome, Kirk. So congratulations to Whit. That's awesome.
On the NASCAR scene, they're at Las Vegas this weekend. We'll talk more about this a little bit later on in the hour. No activity on the track yesterday. Today, the Xfinity Series will be under the lights tonight.
Yeah, it's a night
I
race,
think that
isn't
starts like at 6:30 tonight. Before that, they'll qualify the Cup cars for tomorrow's race at Las Vegas. And it was Josh Berry who won in the spring at Las Vegas. I think Kyle Larson just might break his long winless streak this weekend. He's my pick this
He's your
weekend,
pick
so.
this week, huh? So.
Anyway, Shane Van Gisbergen, the road race ace, did it again on the Roval at Charlotte last weekend. Ho-hum.
I don't know why we picked anybody but
he was
him.
just toying with the competition last week.
I literally went home and said, I can't believe all three of us did not have him winning the race.
Well, he was too easy to pick.
I know he was.
You know, we kind of, if you're going to make picks,
we're
out on the limb.
That's right. We're trying to make some money here.
Yeah.
So that's how our picks were. Well, I don't know what our picks ended up going down as.
You know, if you go by the odds on a road course, Shane Van Gisbergen's not really a good bet.
No, you're not making any money on that. Now, if you're playing with your buddies and shaking hands, that's your pick.
But it looked like for a while that Larson and Bell were going to outrun.
No, they had some good
Van
run. But,
Gisbergen.
well, they'll get their.
Van Gisbergen did just a great job of saving his tires.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Well, they'll get their revenge today or tomorrow. That's what they're thinking, because he won't have such a good run, I don't think, tomorrow.
Well, Van Gisbergen has not won on a oval track, but
Kansas.
he had his best finish at Kansas Speedway.
He even
he had a top 10 out.
Yeah, he talked about how he had a pretty good run out here.
Mile and a half, so
and
we'll see what happens.
Anytime you finish in the top 10, Kirk, Kansas starts to become one of your favorite tracks, right? If this is a guy who's struggled everywhere and now all of a sudden he's got him a top 10 at Kansas, I'm sure he enjoys coming back to Kansas. So
it's pretty cool. He takes that. Is that a soccer ball?
It's a rugby ball. He signs it and then kicks that. And man, he puts a foot into it, Kirk. He gets it up over the fence and all the way out there in the crowd. That's a pretty good marketing ploy for those guys. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's not, probably not a lot of people know him. Heck, some people don't even know how to say his name. They just say SVG. A lot of them just, and so this is a pretty good marketing.
Well, these guys got to bone up on their road racing to match up with him, because he's just flat out driving them.
Yeah.
I think that had SVG been in either Bell or Larson's cars, he would have taken those cars. That's how good he is behind
his footwork. Kirk is just something else, and we saw this back when Boris Said first came in. Remember when he was here? That was how it was back when when he first showed up on the scene. People were like, "Oh my God, his footwork is just amazing," And then people kind of caught on to how he's doing. But this guy's on another level.
When you had somebody like Kyle Larson said, "Yeah, he's just better than us right now."
Well, we interviewed Ross Chastain, and he said, "Well, we've got a problem, and his name is SVG." And he said on these road courses. So I'm with you, Kirk.
I'd say fewer road races.
Fewer road races, and give SVG some time. He'll be all right. He'll give him some more time. He hasn't ran a lot of races on the oval, Kirk. There's a lot. People think you just jump in these NASCAR cars, and they're just all set up like.
If he starts winning races on the ovals,
then watch out.
You can start talking about him being a championship. Right now, he's not a championship contender because he's not really all that good on the.
But most of
the races that are held, that's on oval track.
But who's happy though? His sponsors. Because he wins and they put him on TV.
And Justin Marks, the owner of Trackhouse Racing, he's happy too.
He's on TV a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another happy guy. Maybe not so much last night, but he's a happy warrior out on the National Sprint Car Tour, and that's Rico Abreu. Always a smile on his face. We spoke with him earlier this week, and you're going to hear that interview when we come back here on Track Talk. We're brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the Power Eye Midwest Lightning Sprints. We're coming right back.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit.
Hey, I'm sorry. I jumped the gun hitting the commercials.
That's all right, man.
Put,
yeah, no, you're good.
No, you was good.
Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
Hit programming, though.
Inventory listings.
Hey, food lovers, spice up your dining experience.
Got like 3.5 minutes in this break.
Genius behind Bamboo and Aqua Pennies in Leawood has opened with her latest sensation, Pennies in the Village. Authentic Thai flavors, shareable dishes, irresistible street foods, and Pennies signature dishes. Plus, craft cocktails that will elevate your meal to the next level. In the heart of Prairie Village, across from the old Macy's building. Lunch and dinner daily. Pennies in the Village, where every bite feels like a celebration.
Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen. Let the good times roll. The construction is finished and parking in the garage off State Line Road is open and 3 free hours with validation at Jazz. As always, Jazz has great daily specials. Tuesday, half off chicken a la mer, and Thursday is our half shell raw oyster special. And of course, happy hour is Monday through Friday, 3 until 6, along with daily lunch specials, Monday through Friday from 11 till 3. Jazz, the
You got those
original
rod end
location
spot
of
in there
State
as
Line
well,
or the Legends
over there,
in
Dylan.
Village West.
Hey guys, it's Grunny from the Plumbing Pro.
Yeah, they're in there. That's what got hit.
Oh,
when
okay.
I
No, you're
jumped
cool.
the gun.
Yeah,
They're,
no.
They're in the rest of the breaks, though.
Rock and roll. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Shower or run the washer, it's a real emergency. I call the Plumbing Pro. If it's leaking, clogged, or dripping, and you feel your patient slipping, all you need to know is call the Plumbing Pro. Plumbing problem solved. Visit them at theplumbingpro.com and tell them that Grunny sent you.
Fall cleaning, Zero Res area rug cleaning. Fall cleaning, Zero Res air duct cleaning. Fall cleaning, Zero Res pet treatment cleaning. Zero Res fall specials are back. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning for $129 and 6 rooms of carpet cleaning for $219. Go to ZeroResKC.com to see other fall specials and book your appointment today. Remember, spell Zero Res backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean. ZeroResKC.com.
Jeff Montgomery here for Miva Medical. Men, if you're dealing with frequent urination, waking up in the middle of the night, or dreading long lines at football games waiting to go to the bathroom, it could be an enlarged prostate. Do what I did and speak with Dr. Brown at Miva Medical. Their non-surgical procedure was quick and easy, a real game changer. Go see Dr. Brown at Miva Medical, the leader in minimally invasive treatments in Kansas City. That's Miva Medical, MIVA-medical.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right, and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Attention hunters, farmers, and business owners. This is the Can-Am Factory Sales Event at Reno's Power Sports in Kansas City. For a limited time, score up to $3,500 off or get 0% financing for 36 months on select 2025 Can-Am ATVs and side-by-sides. Whether you're tackling...
Podding you up in 15 or 20 seconds.
Delivers the power, performance, and control you need. But hurry, these offers end October 31st. Stop by Reno's Power Sports today and ride away with your deal. Reno's Power Sports, Kansas City's home for Can-Am.
Welcome back to Track Talk. I'm Kirk Elliott here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. My partner Scott Traylor will be joining us a little bit later on. Rico Abreu is on a roll right now. He is leading the high limit point standings right now by 39 points over defending champion Brad Sweet. He's got a number of big wins this year. Probably his biggest win has to be the Skagit Nationals out in Washington State. He swept that whole weekend out there and won over $100,000 for winning that race. And he also won the Four Crown Nationals at Eldora Speedway. He's got some big moments this year. He outran Kyle Larson a couple of times back in the spring, if you remember, up at Knoxville, then again down at Texas Motor Speedway, where they're going to be going back to here in a couple of weeks. Earlier this week, we spoke with Rico Abreu about his season and the points battle coming up, and here is a little bit of that conversation. Bet you're looking forward to coming back to Lakeside Speedway. As I recall, you had a pretty good night out there in the spring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a good run there. We caused a little havoc, but what's a good sprint car race without any havoc?
Right. That's right. And that's probably playing itself out in this points battle right now. Brad Sweet got a bad end out of that deal, but you're holding a 52-point lead now with just 5 nights of racing to go right now. Do you feel like that this is the year you're going to get it done?
I mean, anything can happen. I just have been really focusing on just the executing at these race events and making sure the car's prepared at the shop. And these guys that work on this 24 car, just have Ricky Warner, Zach Middlebrooks, Brady Forbrook, they do a great job. They're really passionate about sprint car racing, and they spend long days in the shop, and they're up early, just relentlessly working on the car. And it's what it takes, I feel, to compete at the highest level of motorsports. And it's they bring nice race cars to the track, and I get the luxury to pilot them.
Right. A few weeks back, you made a big announcement with Tony Stewart for 2026. It's been a few weeks since you made that announcement. Has it all synced in just what lies ahead for you with Tony?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun navigating it all with Tony and just trying to put this partnership together. It's Tony's very he's very into and his love for sprint car racing runs very parallel to me, and that's what I felt was so fitting to this, getting to go race under his umbrella and bringing my team. Those are the most important parts of the partnership was, my employees coming with me and, getting to, just bring that great atmosphere to his race shop. And, I'm really looking forward to, over the winter, just to working through all that. And it's going to be tricky. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's going to be tricky to navigate it all and take us probably a little bit to get everything going. But, I love challenges and just working hard at racing and performing well and making sure the fans have an incredible experience at the track. And I think, Tony's got to see that, see me build those relationships over the years, and has become quite interesting to him. And when we spoke about this partnership, it just made a lot of sense for me to do this with him and and collide these brands that I've built over the years. From the manufacturing side of sprint car racing to the partnerships to the marketing, and then all that PSR has done over the years too at a very high level, and it was very important to me to continue to attach myself to something that's, especially the growth in our sport right now is tremendous. I mean, there's a lot of cool things and big things happening, and you got to make it exciting, continue to make it exciting.
You've won a lot of 410 races. Talk about that a little bit.
18 total, right?
Yeah, we've captured some really cool wins this year. We 11, I believe 11 high limit wins. A couple World of Outlaw wins, and we picked up a 360 Nationals win this year, and then a couple Knoxville wins earlier in the season locally. And we just these guys that work on this car, they love what they do, and we believe in each other. And I think just when you really see that and just the chemistry in the team, and we've all been racing together for 4+ years now, from Zach Middlebrooks, a car chief on my car, a great friend of mine, to Ricky Warner. Over the last, this is his 4th full season with me, and over the last decade, I've been really close to him and his family, and he's become this, father figure in my life, and just somebody that I really love just being around, at the races, away from the races, and somebody that I feel genuinely believes in my ability, and I think that's what makes the flow of this all work for us. And we're all on the same page. I mean, we show up to want to win races, and we work as hard as we can. And the hardest part about it all for me is the balance from the highs and lows in racing, and just mentally preparing yourself, and knowing how to get everything out of the day that you can. And I think that's where Ricky has allowed me to mature and taught me, helped me navigate, some of those circumstances and boundaries just that, he's experienced over the many years of his racing career. And, I try to absorb it all as much as I can.
Is that right? You approached Tony before he approached you? It seems like a match made in heaven, as much success as he and Ricky Warner have had at Knoxville. So is that the way it went down? We've
had Tony and I have had multiple discussions for years about me racing for him, before he was done racing, and it was just when the transition and driver changes happened there. I kind of thought about how I could talk to Tony, and I feel like we kind of just reached out to each other at the same time, and it was just like, that was ironic, and it was but then again, there was a lot of logistics to it all. So once the conversation happened, I first and foremost needed to make sure my team was on board with something like that, and then once they were on board, Tony had to make sure his team was on board, and then everybody kind of aligned, and everything else came natural.
Yeah, this matchup with Rico and Tony Stewart for next year is something that's really going to take Rico to the next level, I believe, because the added resources and just what all of Tony brings. And, a lot of people thought that Tony was going to get out of sprint car racing, but that's just the opposite. After letting Dottie Schatz go right after the Knoxville Nationals, I think that sent a message right there that Tony was still pretty serious about his sprint car team, and for he and Rico to come together in this fashion, and Rico to be able to bring everything that he already has with the RAR team and crew chief Ricky Warner and Zach Middlebrooks and Grady Forbrook, and all of that is already there and put together, and just to bring them over to Tony Stewart's shop and marry that all together and bring in maybe added sponsorship. Rico's going to be a force to be reckoned with here.
Rico is, and everything you mentioned, absolutely 100% correct. Plus, Kirk, he's a beast on social media. Tony could not have picked a better driver to just give the reins to, because Rico's got such a big footprint right now on everything he's doing. His T-shirt trailer. Kirk, when we were down there at the Chili Bowl, when he grew the real long hair and he had the hats. How many hats?
Had the mullet.
How many hats did you see people walk around with that hat? I'm telling you, this is a win-win situation for Tony Stewart Racing and Rico Abreu Racing, because we've known those two know each other for a long time. They've been friends for a long time, but you could not pick somebody that has better marketing, better social media, better relationship with his fans than Rico Abreu. So, like he said in the thing, there's going to be some struggles, but the struggles will not take place.
I don't think there's going to be struggles.
No, they may have some little, getting used to. But there's going to be no struggles.
The personnel is all the same.
Yeah. So like I think Rico's trying to downplay everything on how well he thinks he'll be doing right out of the gate. But to reiterate, I think Tony Stewart could not have picked a better driver than Rico Abreu. Some of the videos that Rico plays and has on his social media page are amazing. And so the social media team that Rico has working for him and his marketing team is number one. I mean, there's only a couple other people out there that I know of that can market like that, Kirk. I mean, they sell out every time we go down there. Any place Rico's selling merchandise, his trailers are packed, Kirk. I mean, they're just packed. So
yeah, there's nobody sells more merchandise.
Good on Rico.
Last night he started 8th. He ends up in 9th. It was such a fast racetrack. It was
not
pretty
a lot
hard
passing
to
back in the back.
make up any ground. You're going to get spread out pretty fast tonight. But the key is you got to get qualified. Well, he qualified pretty well. It was number 2 on the Group B qualifying charts. But where you got to make it up is in the dash. And if you spin that wheel and you draw a low number, you're going to be at the back. And that's what happened to him. He drew a low number, and he started, 5th in the dash, but he ended up 8th.
Yeah,
and so that kind of put him behind the 8 ball
as
far as trying to chase down anybody that was up in front of him. We'll see what happens out there tonight. He did win in the spring out here. And we got Lucas Oil Speedway coming up next Wednesday, Texas Motor Speedway after that. Hey, I just want to mention the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum was in big visibility last night out at Lakeside Speedway. They had the sprint car that they're going to be raffling off, Todd. It was out there on display, and they're taking it's
a good-looking car.
Registrations for that. Yeah, it is.
There's a picture of it
race
right
ready.
there.
It's a J&J Don Ott powered 410 sprint car. The sweepstakes is underway, even though you got to wait till December of 2026 to see if you win it. And but the tickets are $25. You get registered for that. But also they were selling off raffle tickets 50-50 raffle tickets last night. I saw Max Grogan and Bob, they were down there, and they said that if you stretch your arms out and you roll out the tickets,
you buy that many
$20.
That's an arm length's $20.
And I was kidding Bob. I said, now you got
You got long arms, Bob.
Long arms, Bob.
Bob's taller than I am.
So when you get out there tonight, buy the 50-50 raffle tickets. And, of course, all the proceeds go toward the betterment of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They got the Corvette that they're going to be giving away again next August. Beauty. This Corvette is really something to see. And if you go to winacorvette.org, you can get registered for that. So if you go out there, Bob Baker and all the crew out there at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, say hi to him when you're out there.
Yeah, maybe Bob would be the one handing me the tickets. If he's got the $20, if we're doing just arms and not counting, I'll
$20 if you stretch your arms
I'll
out.
find Bob and get my ticket from him.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from Aaron Reitzel, and we have more here on Track Talk. We're brought to you by Rod End Supply. We're coming back here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Track Talk.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Friday Night Lights, college game days, and of course Red Sundays are here. Nothing goes better with football than Joe's KC Barbecue. Joe's Championship Barbecue is perfect for your pregame tailgate or watch party. Joe's smoked brisket, burnt ends, and pulled pork are available by the pound and teamed up with dirty rice, barbecue beans, or Joe's famous mac and cheese. It makes for a game-winning meal. Order online for curbside pickup at joeskc.com.
Got plans? Make them sweeter with big savings at From the Earth dispensaries. From Friday, October 10th through Sunday, October 12th. Take 20% off all illicit edibles, gummies, caramels, gemstones, and power cords, packed with flavor and fun. Plus, save 15% off Hermit's Delight and Borealis, 2 names you know, now at prices you'll love. These deals are here for a limited time. Visit your neighborhood From the Earth or shop online at FTEMO.com. That's FTEMO.com. Taste the deal, feel the vibe. This is SSJ for Window Nation. October is here, and if you got old, stuck, or cracked windows, that means you're back to dealing with chilly air seeping into your home. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation. This month, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. With the holidays coming up, that's a big deal. And did I mention Window Nation has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau? Don't miss out on free windows and 0 payments for 2 years. Visit windownation.com before October 31st to get started.
Guys, have some free time? Icon is seeking healthy non-smoking men ages 18 to 60 to participate in a clinical research study at our facility in Lenexa, Kansas. Volunteers must be available for 1 stay of 7 nights and 1 follow-up phone call. Qualified participants may receive compensation up to $5,150 for time and travel. Call Icon today at 913-210-5900. That's 913-210-5900.
Minute left in the break.
Matt Beasler.
10-4.
Each season, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City and Sporting KC team up to recognize Blue KC Sporting Samaritans. This is a program that highlights students and teachers who make the Kansas City community a better place to live, work, and play. If you believe someone within the Kansas City education community would be a worthy candidate, please nominate these difference makers by going online to sportingkc.com/bluekc. That's sportingkc.com/bluekc.
The Ohio State University, ranked number 1 in the country, traveled to Champaign, Illinois to face the Fighting Illini this Saturday in Big Ten action on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Can quarterback Julian Sayin, coming off his Big Ten Freshman of the Week honors, continue his growth as the Buckeyes' number 1 signal caller? Find out Saturday when the Ohio State Buckeyes face off against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Coverage begins at 11 on your home for college football, Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back. Listening to Track Talk here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Aaron Reitzel finished second last night out at Lakeside Speedway. He fell back to third, then got past Brad Sweet on the last lap. And he is recovering from a broken foot in an accident earlier this year at Eldora Speedway. He was out of the race car for a couple of months, and he just got off his crutches here in the last few days, but he has got a fast race car, and he's up for the owner's points in high-limit racing. And we spoke with Aaron Reitzel earlier this week on Mostly Motorsports. Hey, you won Saturday night. It wasn't a high-limit race, but a win's a win up at Lee County Speedway in Donaldson. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah, no, it was good. I always enjoy getting to that track. That track, it's awesome. And I only get it. Seems like every time I go there, they get it better and better. And you know, Saturday night it had what I call like a chili bowl cushion up on the wall, and hell, I had fun just out there racing by myself. It was a good time, and it was good for us to. You know, when we're running the high limit stuff all the time, we don't really get to test that much. And there's been some stuff I've been wanting to try and whatnot. So it was good to get out there and do some testing.
Well, that testing seemed to work on Saturday night. What about Friday night? It was a little bit different on Friday. How different was the track on Friday night from when you raced on Saturday night?
It was quite a bit different, but yeah, we were off Friday. I just couldn't do like what Brady and a few of the other guys were doing, you know, running the bottom, getting up off the bottom. And that's kind of what I've been trying to work on, be better at, is being able to move around a little bit more, even if the line isn't so much on the bottom, but still get down there and make grip and just get through traffic better. And that's not what we were hoping for, but yeah, so that didn't work. And then Saturday we kind of went back to basics, but little different. And I thought we were really good Saturday night, so it was good to get out and test.
How is the foot coming along? You're not using crutches right now. How you healing up here?
It's finally healing. You know, it wasn't doing anything for a while. So I think it was 2 months and there was still no progress. So we were out to get on a bone stimulator machine, and I went in to get all that set up, and we did x-rays, and just mysteriously, like, you know, the last week it started to finally heal, and it felt like we didn't need the bone stimulator anymore, so that was good. It's been a really, really slow process. Even the doctor, the specialist, was surprised how long it took. But you know, it was a pretty severe break. So, but it's coming along now. Yeah, I think I've been been able to walk now. I'm supposed to only put 25% weight on my foot. I'm probably doing a little more than that, but it's probably about 4 or 5 days now. I've finally been walking around.
How's the nose?
Oh, that's all water.
We forgot about that, didn't we?
Forgot about that. We're on to the next problem.
Yeah, the foot was a little bit more serious. It happened at Eldora Speedway at a time of the year where just really difficult. You missed Knoxville. You were out, about 10 high-limit races it looked like, but being out of Knoxville, how difficult was that?
It was really difficult. It was more depressing than anything. You know, we were at a point where I felt like we were really fast. Confidence was way up. You know, coming into nationals, Gold Cup, Skagit, Kings Royal. I missed four 6-figure paying races. So, you know, that was pretty depressing. You know, like that never happens when you're slow and need a break. Of course, it happens, you know, when like team morale is at its highest and we're really good and confidence is up. And I mean, but you know, it is what it is. You know, at least that's all that happened. You know, the way that crash was, it definitely could have been a lot worse. You know, if the car was in a different spot when the 27 hit me, it definitely could have been a lot worse. And I'm thankful for that part of it. But yeah, just getting through it, and now we're back.
We're going to hear more from Aaron Reutzel in Hour 2 exclusively on Racing Boys. Also, we got some more from Rico coming up in just a little bit. You know, Aaron is very interesting. I'm always fascinated watching Aaron race. He's always been a hard charger. When he won all those races in the ASCS Tour that Racing Boys used to cover back in the day, you could tell the talent level years ago. And then he then graduated up, running 410s on a regular basis, won some all-star championships, and made a name for himself there. Got in just a little bit of controversy there with the tire stuff back. But then he was able to land back on his feet, raced more of a regional basis, Knoxville and different places, and now it's first full year on the high limit trail with Ridge & Sons in the 87 car. Boy, has he really done well in that 87 car this year. Broke his nose, had a clod of mud, something come through the window at Las Vegas earlier this year. He's been beat up, but boy, he keeps coming back.
Man, he's a tough kid, man.
Yeah.
You know, ever since I've started working with Racing Boys, there was 4 or 5 drivers that we had on, you know, that was always just really, you know, they would take care of the Racing Boys, and Brian Brown was one of them, and Aaron Reutzel was always one. I mean, I've been with you guys, this might be 13th year, we're full 12 years now, and, you know, every year we've had Aaron Reutzel on. He's been more than willing to come on and spend a long time with us. You know, he doesn't care how long the interview is. He's a good guy.
He likes playing the villain, though.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So
he enjoys that role, especially when he goes to Pennsylvania. And
absolutely,
he won that money at the Bob Weichert Memorial back over Memorial Weekend. That was $100,000, and the fans booed him, and he just ate it up.
Yeah.
He loved it going in there beating the PA posse.
Yeah, stick around for hour 2 because he gets into that a little bit in that interview and talks about being the villain and stuff. And so, yeah, like you said, Aaron, he talked about maybe changing the screen on his car. Somebody asked him, maybe you need to change. No, I'm not changing that. That was just a freak thing. Something got through there and took him out, hit his nose and busted him up pretty good. But, man, you talk about a challenging season, Kirk. I mean, you throw in what a normal season would normally put you through as it is, and then you throw in these type of injuries that he's had to deal with. It's good on him that he's still in the hunt for the for the owners championship, and then finishing the season strong. Kirk, every week he's there either on the podium or picking up a win. So I always enjoy having Aaron, and good on him. Glad he wasn't more injured in that wreck, because like he said, he talked about that at the very end of that interview. It could have been a lot worse the way he was hit in that car. So
well, your foot, it's got a complex set of bones in the foot, and it broke a lot of those bones. And it's going to take a long time to heal.
Absolutely.
But for him to come back as soon as he did, he was at the Tuscarora 50, just weeks after he got injured. He missed the Knoxville Nationals, which that had to be hard. But he was able to come back a lot quicker than a lot of people thought he would.
And this year we've had a lot of big name drivers, Kirk, on the shelf with broken bones and stuff.
Yeah.
Justin Grant had a broken foot, and Brad Sweet was out for. There's just been some.
Tyler Courtney was up in the booth doing the color commentary on Flow Racing's coverage. He's out for the rest of the year because of back injuries.
Yep.
And so, we've seen a lot of drivers get hurt this year in sprint car racing.
I'm glad they're just getting hurt and not any worse. Maybe we're starting to figure out how to rein this thing in to where the injuries
3 minutes.
So my thought is tonight, Kirk, big night here at Lakeside Speedway. I believe the track's going to be really good shape, and what I really like is, Kirk, the weather. You couldn't have dialed.
Can't ask for anything more in October.
We've rolled the dice a couple of weeks. We had a Kansas Speedway race that could have been pretty iffy, and then we had this weekend here. It could be and we've come up aces. So if you want to see a sprint car race, guys, get on out to Lakeside Speedway tonight, because it's gonna be one hell of a race out there, man.
I expect a bigger crowd out there tonight.
Oh,
than we had last night.
And I think the track will look really good too.
I do too. Hey, I just want to put this out there. Condolences to Gary Emig family. Gary Emig was a big man in motorsports, especially in the motorcycle world. Passed away earlier this week. He built a car for Tiger Bob Williams back in the day. Very widespread resume. Gary Emig, again, sympathies to his family, passing away earlier this week. Want to remind everybody that we have Mostly Motorsports coming up on Monday. That's a podcast. We post that show later in the afternoon. It's not a live show, but we post it later in the afternoon on Monday. And that's when we do all our really lengthy interviews. So I think we got Brad Sweet on Monday. And we'll be talking about what happens tonight all around the country, too. Also, in Sweet Springs, the Dean Halfman Show Me Showdown is underway. And night 3 will be tonight at Sweet Springs. And I think Speed Sport TV has got the video of that if you're not able to make it out there, but a lot of great micro racing going on at Sweet Springs. Matthew Howard has won the preliminary races in both non-wing and wing outlaws.
How about that?
Here the last 2 nights, so he's the guy to look for. Also, they got Power Eye Midget Racing at Port City this weekend. Michael Facento won on Thursday night. Cannon McIntosh won last night at Port City, so congratulations.
Haven't heard Michael's name mentioned in a while. I like old Michael Facento. So.
Michael Facento.
I like Michael.
We watched him down at the Chili Bowl.
He's always good to us at the Chili Bowl.
He's back in Tulsa.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks to Dylan Brett for spinning the knobs back at Sports Radio 810. Appreciate you. Todd Sprice, great job as always. Stay tuned for College Game Day coming up next here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We're here for Hour 2 exclusively on RacingBoys.com, our Facebook and YouTube pages. Thanks for joining us. For my partner, Scott Traylor, I'm Kirk Elliott. Talk to you next Saturday here on Track Talk.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
CBD American Shaman is introducing a groundbreaking new product. Advanced alkaloids are a plant-based
Thanks, Bill.
supplement
Appreciate it, my
designed
brother.
for anyone
Have a good
seeking
week.
natural relief from everyday stress, discomfort, or those days when you're feeling a bit down. Stop into your local CBD American Shaman locations and ask about advanced alkaloids.
Mention this ad at a participating Kansas.
Rod End Supply is involved with a variety of motorsports as well as industrial applications with many different types of products. Since 1989, Rod End Supply has provided superior products priced competitively. Whether you're racing at the circle track or drag strip, rock climbing, or going off-road, Rod End Supply has an assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products to keep your equipment moving. Rod End Supply's experienced staff is ready and willing to help you with your needs. Their promise is to continue to provide a superior product with superior service so you can stay in front of the field no matter what it is. To learn more, go to rodendsupply.com.
Here at Specialty Sportswear in-house, we do all of the screen printing, all the embroidery. We do some vinyl. The other add specialty items like your pens, magnets, notepads, calendars. You can actually buy that, build your business to make it larger. We have the largest screen printing process and the largest embroidery anywhere around in the area. We can do stuff all the way from your school clubs to sports teams, a professional look in the office. If you can imagine it, we can do it for you.
From the circle track to the drag strip to off-road racing, Rod End Supply has been keeping their customers at the front of the field since 1989. Whether you need rod ends, tubular rods, or specialty products, Bob Douglas and his Rod End Supply staff are always ready to help you with your needs. You can visit them on the web at rodendsupply.com or call them at 800-284-2902. That's 800-284-2902. Rod End Supply, keeping you at the front of the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sabres 33 RLP. Let's go take a tour. Coming into this animal, we're going to take a trip back here to the feature of this trailer, the deck. Check it out. It's awesome. It's 4 by 10 feet. You can dance on this thing. Boom! Check it out. It's pretty nice. And then coming to the back of this thing, you got a 75-inch TV. It's huge. 60-inch fireplace. Nice and big, keep you warm. Then you got an ottoman that converts into a table, if you will, maybe some TV trays. Then this hide-a-bed that I'm pointing at, it comes out and folds into like a king-size bed with storage in the corner for all your linens. Great little addition to the trailer. Your dinette, of course. Then you're gonna come around to the kitchen with the tic-toc sink. It's got the spritzer and the waterfall and all that stuff. Residential style refrigerator. It's got the microwave and the oven that's residential as well. Big old pantry over here with motion detected lights, coffee bar, and then coming up to the bedroom, you'll have the bathroom first, nice and spacious with a seat in it for them ladies. And then we got the king size bedroom with washer dryer hookup. I'm telling you, this is a home run for a couples coach. Come and see me, Kyle Walker.
When Steve died, the outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
So we have a lot of folks come in interested in traveling for work. This is going to be a great option. Your Coachman Northern Spirit 2565 front kitchen. You have a nice wraparound full front kitchen here. Huge windows up top. Big 12-volt refrigerator. Lots of windows on the sides here. Great natural light coming in. You have your big TV over here on the swing arm bracket so you can kind of see it from any point in the room. Also have your bar stools here. Sit and eat your breakfast. In the bedroom, you're going to have a king-size bed in the slide-out. Lots of storage underneath that. Washer, dryer, hookup. Tons of storage with the drawers. Then you got your full bath across the back. When it comes down to a camper that you can get for 6,500 pounds and be under 30 feet long, this is an absolute home run.
Race fans, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is open 7 days a week, year-round, for you to come in and check out all of the wonderful race cars on display in the museum. And our online store at sprintcarstuff.com is open 24 hours a day for you to check out everything that we have in stock for sprint car fans. Whether it's for a birthday, anniversary, or Christmas, sprintcarstuff.com has it all. That's at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.
Hey everybody, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and you are listening to RacingBoys.com, and if you're not, I swear to you, get in your truck or do something, but get the hell out of this country, because you don't belong in it if you don't listen to these fellas.
It's time for America's most unique motorsports show, Track Talk, brought to you by Rod End Supply and the Power Ride Midwest Lightning Sprints. Here are the racing boys, Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott.
Welcome back. Hour 2 exclusively here on RacingBoys.com. We're pleased to have you with us here on a Saturday morning. Beautiful Saturday morning in October. After battling the fog, getting in here this morning, it's going to clear out. Be a great day for racing tonight at Lakeside Speedway. Night 2 of the Kubota High Limit Racing Weekend at Lakeside. It's going to be fun.
Get on out there today, guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time out there. Like you said, best drivers we've got some top-notch drivers out there, Kirk. I mean,
yeah, we got some of the best sprint car drivers in the world out here this weekend. Last night, Brent Marks, the Myerstown Missile, winning his 4th high-limit race of the season, 7th of his career, leading all 25 laps, beating Aaron Reitzel, Brad Sweet, Chase Randall, and Brenham Crouch.
how about that, Brennan? That's a name that
Finishes
you get
in
in the
fifth place.
top 5 too often, so good on Brennan there.
Yeah. Now, Dason Persley, I walked out of there thinking he finished 4th last night.
Not the case,
But they
huh?
got him scored as 6th.
Something must have happened in post.
So did they penalize Dason
Something must have
after
happened
the
in-
race last night?
If anybody knows out there, call in the comment section there and let us know.
I'm not seeing anything in the story here.
I was up pretty late last night trying to fall asleep. I tweaked my back this week, Kirk, so I've been up and down, but I was watching that baseball game, and I flipped over to see if that race was over with, and Lisa Burlington, who provided the photos for us on our show today on the website there, she'd sent me the photos, so I knew the race was over, Kirk, and I was getting ready to text you, and then I saw what time it was, and I thought, well, hell, Kirk's probably already asleep, but then I thought, no, he's probably watching this baseball game, or at least listening to it. So.
You know, Todd and I are big baseball fans, so I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah.
We're
not gonna apologize.
Big Royals fans. The Royals didn't make it this year, but I still like watching the playoffs
Absolutely.
baseball. And so I was following that baseball game
Crazy.
before the A-Main rolled out last night. I saw the Mariners and the Tigers were tied at 2 in the 6th inning. And so I forget about the baseball, watch the race, and then going down and getting interviews and after the race. Wasn't any big hurry to get out of there, thinking the game was already. I get in my vehicle to go home to check. We'll see what the final score was. See who and what. It was still tied 2-2.
It was
so I'm listening to the baseball game all the way home, which takes me about a half hour to get home. It's still going on. I come in the house, and I see the end of it on TV. I was amazed that game went as long as it
was
did.
a
15 innings.
So I'm laying on the. So I told my wife, you might as well go to bed. I'm going to lay on the couch and watch this game and put a heating pad on my back because my back was a little tight. So I thought, I'll just go ahead and lay. Kirk, that was in the 10th inning or 9th inning. Or heck, I think it was the 8th inning when she went upstairs to go to bed and watch it in a room. Well, Kirk, I flipped and flopped and got up and got me another snack, and it was still, baseball game was still going on. And if people don't know, hour one on Track Talk on the WHB side, our producer over there at the studio over at 810 is none other than Dylan Brett, which is the son of
George Brett,
the great
George Brett,
greatest
son
baseball player,
was our producer.
So he's been our producer for a couple times, and so that, like you said, we talked a little baseball with Dylan this morning before we went on the air, and but yeah, Kirk,
he's a baseball aficionado.
Well,
why wouldn't he be? As he's the son of George Brett.
And I'm sure he probably
was talking about all the strikeouts.
Yeah, I'm sure he was probably overloaded, as knowing his dad. He was. But yes,
you think he was kind of repeating what his dad might have been saying?
Well,
about it?
no, I no, because I think Dylan now he's at the age where
he's got his own opinion.
He's got his opinion, but I'm going to tell you one thing.
But I got to believe George Brett thought the same thing that he thought.
Oh, absolutely, a lot.
Way too many strikeouts.
He's a hitter. Too many strikeouts. You got to swing the bat and throw me some. Kirk, we'll get off this baseball thing, but yeah. It was a good game. Like you said, anytime, I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football, NASCAR, when you come down to the last race game to decide something.
Game 5, season decider,
it's
winner
worth
goes
watching.
home.
I don't care who it is. If it's two chickens.
Winner goes on, loser goes home.
Yep,
That's the way it was.
Losers getting ready for vacation. So,
who was it, Palermo or somebody hit the game-winning hit for the Mariners.
But I knew that the game was. Well, I went outside, Kirk, and there was no audio. I couldn't hear the racing down at Lakeside, so I knew the racing was over at that point because you couldn't.
Yeah,
hear
the races got over early.
Yes, when you don't have a support class down there,
which is fine. We didn't need a support class.
You don't need it now. And let's just hope, like you said, we can get a little less heavy track tonight. And we can get some good slide jobs. That's all.
Little less water on the track. Yeah. I think that'll help out.
And like they talked about in your interview, when you talked to Brad and a couple of the guys in your interview, or Brent Marks, this time of the year, man, the sun goes down a little faster, right? And the water doesn't get pulled out as fast. So that's just kind of where we're at on that thing. We're not telling the guys that run they know what they're doing out there. It's just this was the product of what happened last night with the temperatures and everything. I don't expect there'll be an issue with it tonight, and expect to be some good crowds out there too, Kirk. I think you'll have some pretty good.
I think a bigger crowd out there tonight
absolutely,
for sure.
So.
Let's hear from Dason Pursley, who I thought was fourth place. He ends up in 6th. He started on the pole of last night's feature, but as he points out, you can't make mistakes and still stay in where you want to be last night. Here's Dason Pursley following his race last night at Lakeside.
Yeah, just struggle a little bit on the restarts and everything, and just what my biggest struggle has been all year is just the dirty air stuff on the half miles, and really good and clean air. The car has great speed, and just didn't do my job on the starts, and let Brent and all those guys get by me down the front straightaway, and then was in their dirty air and was just trying to play catch up from there. But nonetheless, Buick Motorsports, Avani windows, color windows and doors, big spring car wash, water treatment. 13 was good tonight and had a lot of speed out front. I just struggle as a driver with the dirty air situations, and just need to learn a little bit more on that.
Track a little bit too tacky tonight?
It was definitely fast. It was definitely, very, very fast, and hard to pass. And there for a little while, it was finally getting spread out a little bit, but then lap traffic kind of makes the leaders move around too. So that always makes the half miles more interesting. But no, I think tomorrow we're going to see normal Lakeside where it's glass slick top to bottom, and usually the stuff that puts on a good race here. So looking forward to that, and I know that it's going to be very good and very exciting as well too for hopefully all the fans that come out.
That is Dason Persley, officially 6th in the finishing order. One spot ahead of him was Chase Randall, who comes through with a pretty solid 5th place finish last night. Here's Chase Randall.
I mean, it was extremely difficult just to make up ground, and even in lap traffic to not make a mistake and manage your race at the same time as trying to go around the other cars. But I think, like I said, I was able to move around really well and make the right moves when I needed to and hold my own. So I was really glad how the night went, and I'm really happy with how we did.
There he is. That's one of his better finishes of the year. Chase Randall in the number 9 car. Two good guys there, Dason Persley and Chase Randall. And Todd, I'm going to have the button properly pushed on my recorder so that we can capture the proper sound after tonight.
I happened to me one time too. And
I fat-fingered a button, and I was pulling the sound off the mic on the recorder instead of the microphone.
Well, here's the good news, though. We got the audio because sometimes we miss the audio. Me and you both have fat fingered a button and not gotten the audio at all. So
you'd think by now I'd learn.
We're 26 years. I'm 13 years going on 13 years here. You're 26 years into.
We still screw up.
And it's just part of life. That's
it's like the drivers who say, "Yeah, I screwed up."
Yeah, messed
well,
up
I
tonight.
screwed up.
That's how it works. And like you said, you didn't screw up bad enough to where we got audio. So everything was good. We know exactly what he's talking about. Yeah. So Kirk's going to be out there again tonight.
Yes, sir.
And get some audio, and we'll probably play some of that on our Mostly Motorsports show, and probably locking down a guest or maybe two from out there, because Kirk's, fingers crossed.
We'll try to get Brad
Sweet's going to be on. He's always
Monday, and who else? We might go for I don't know. I'm not going to say right now.
Yep.
We'll have two guests on Monday.
We always have two guests, and like you said, go to wherever you get your podcast.
And we'll be down at Lucas Oil Speedway on Wednesday night for the High Limit midweek show down there. And there's a separate points battle for the midweek shows, and Rico is leading that. A little bit closer margin for the midweek shows.
That's the last of the midweek show, too, I think, right?
That is the last one. And then they got 2 nights at Texas Motor Speedway Dirt Track the weekend, not that weekend, but the weekend after that.
That's right, October 17th and 18th. So, if you can't get out,
it is next weekend.
Yep,
at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yep. So if you can't get out there to Lakeside tonight, which I'm telling you, get out there, you still got a chance to get out there to Lucas Oil, which is only a few hours away, and so you can still go watch the race, or better yet, Kirk, double dip.
Speaking of Lucas Oil Speedway, they have the Big Buck 50 going on this weekend. That's a stock car special, and that is also in coordination with Dirt Late Models this weekend down at Lucas Oil Speedway. And last night in the late models, Daniel Hilseback, 36-year-old driver, wins his first late model big-time feature last night. Started on the pole, beat Chris Simpson to the line, Dylan McCowan, Caden McWhorter, and Tyler Kuykendall finishes in the top 5. And in the big block 50, it was Terry Schultz starting on the pole and winning the feature event last night. Tonight, they'll wrap it up with both the stock cars and the late models at Lucas Oil Speedway. The last multi-night weekend of the year at Lucas Oil Speedway. Then they got the high limit race next Wednesday night. On Thursday night, Terry Schultz set quick time to set him up for last night's preliminary win. It didn't have late models on Thursday night, but all they had on Thursday was the qualifying.
So he picked up 5,000 last night, Kirk, and they raced for 10,000 tonight.
Yes,
sir. Pick you up 15,000 if he picks him up a couple wins. But yeah, that's cool getting your first time win on a weekend when you got some big names in town and big checks being cut out. So $10,000 on the line tonight. Lakeside Speedway.
Lucas Oil Speedway. in
Lakeside, look, all your favorite tracks can be running tonight.
Yeah,
Kurt.
Sweet Springs is tonight,
Absolutely.
and Todd and I have got some great memories of
Love going
the Show Me Showdown.
I tell you, if you live anywhere near Sweet Springs,
We used to do the live video of that.
do yourself a favor and go out and you know, another cool thing about that is take your kids out there. If you got some youngsters, take your kids out there and let them watch some of those young guys run and some of the older guys run, and they're pretty approachable. You can go to anybody and talk to them, but it's pretty good entertainment out there, Kirk. The facility's great. They got good food.
That you just brought up something I was going to mention. Their concessions are
it's top notch,
out of sight.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Kirk told
they have great concessions at Sweet Springs.
Well, Kirk told me the time, we were going out there. He's like, I told him, I said, I got to get some food. He goes, well, don't eat until you get out there. He goes, this is one of the definite, make sure you get you some food out. And matter of fact, we ate twice because we ate before the races, and then we had the big break. And then after the big monsoon came in, Kirk, the kitchen, I went by. And
that was Mother Nature didn't treat us well that weekend.
We
that
made it.
Show Me Showdown weekend, I forgot how many years ago that was, but they had to run on a Sunday. They had to, normally they would finish up on a Saturday, but we had to go out there on a Sunday.
Yeah, that was
and it was a marathon. When we started racing, about noon.
Noon. It was at noon. I mean, we were doing live video.
And they finished up, and here come the rains. They couldn't have timed that out better.
No, Kirk was literally wrapping up the broadcast, talking, and I'm saying we've got to get away from, because I had to throw the tripod cover over the camera because it wasn't just sprinkling, Kirk, it was pouring
monsoon.
It came down so hard, and
we got things in dry before it really got bad. But walking stuff to the car, that was memorable.
And to get back to the food, so I get in the car, change my clothes, and then once there was a little break in the action, I ran back up to make sure we didn't leave anything because we were just running, trying to gun, and pick me up some more food because they had to shut everything down so fast, Kirk. People were heading to the cars. They had a lot of food kind of left over ready to, so I picked me up another cheeseburger for my ride home that night. And so, yeah, if you're out at Sweet Springs, get out there tonight. If you're out close and Lakeside, all your good tracks are running out there.
On Thursday night, it was Matthew Howard winning the non-wing micro feature event. And then he won the Winged Outlaw feature event last night at Sweet Springs. Other winners on Thursday were Jesse Van Langenham winning the Sportsman Micros and Dylan Cadis in the A-Class Micro Division. Now, last night, Matthew Howard, as I pointed out, won the Winged Outlaw Division feature. Other winners last night were Dawson Woods in the Restricted Micros and Brent Woods in Stock Non-Wing Micros. Car counts are looking as good as we've seen all year at Sweet Springs, so they got a pretty good number of cars out there, 6 classes. They ran 3 on Thursday night, and they ran 4 classes actually last night because they had the junior sprints last night as Stetson Stroop won the junior class feature.
There you go. So
congratulations to him.
Hot laps at 6:30 tonight, guys. So
Sweet Springs.
Show Me Showdown, October 9th through the 11th.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Get on out there.
More Rico Abreu. We heard from him in hour number 1. He is the current point leader for the Kubota High Limit Racing Series. Came through with a 9th place finish last night. Earlier this week, we spoke with Rico. Here's part 2 of our conversation. Let's talk about some of the other highlight wins this year. You swept the Skagit Nationals up there, $100,000 payday up there. Of course, you talked about the 360 Nationals at Knoxville. You won the 4 Crown Nationals at Eldora Speedway. Just to kind of talk about those races and maybe some of the other highlight wins you had this year.
Yeah, no, we've had some amazing races this year, and probably the coolest one, is probably a neck and neck. Even is obviously sweeping the Skagit Nationals all 3 nights, and just how my car felt air on the racetrack and how fast it was. And I just had this, I felt extra amount of grip, towards the end of the races that made it really fun and I could race really hard. And then the winning Kokomo on the last lap was really special, and just how the race played out. And it was, kind of a snoozer because Peck was putting it on him and putting it on us, and then we caught lap traffic right at the end of the race, and he had to start moving his lines around, and it allowed me to kind of catch back up to him. I was just planning on finishing second and continuing to try to tighten the points up, and then sure as shit, we caught Peck on the last lap, and I cleared Danny Sams off of turn 4, and it was like, man, I got a shot at winning this thing. And he ran the bottom in 3 and 4, and it just left like a whole passing lane for me up there.
Right.
And we barely snuck by I think we won by like 26 thousandths or something, which is one of the closest finishes in high limit history.
2 other races kind of stick out in my mind. You beat Kyle Larson to the line in the spring at Knoxville, and you did it again at Texas Motor Speedway. What'd that feel like, you outrunning Kyle there twice?
Yeah, I mean, that was anytime you square up against Kyle Larson, you got to be on your A game. So we've had some great races this year, and Kyle's the best in the business. So you got to be ready to fight once you get neck and neck with him. And I made that a priority this year to really throw down and push myself outside my comfort zones to trying to compete with him, not just one night out of the year, but, consistently throughout a season.
We saw a couple of videos up online. You've been out there on the social networks all over. These videos that you've been put out have been pretty cool, kind of lay out your whole career. That was kind of fun to watch. And you stay pretty active on social media, don't you? Yeah,
I mean, social media is such a cool platform that you can really connect with the race fans, and I've really just tried to be personal with the fans and allow them to feel the same connection from when they see me on these platforms to when they see me in person. And I think it's really important in our sport that that people are bought in on their favorite drivers and can connect really easily. And these race fans, they mean so much to me because they come to the races and they spend their hard-earned money, and like it's important that they have an incredible experience. And I just have, as I've gotten older and appreciated racing and understood that like it takes the fans to allow us to do what we love, that I want to make sure that they have a great time at the races. So social media has been a way for me to continue to connect with them, and I try to be really creative on the platforms and interact and make people feel special, and because I genuinely mean it when I interact with people on there and bring some humor to it all, and not just be an ad for somebody.
Right.
And it's, I really want to make sure I connect with the race fans before they even, and then they want to come to the races to experience that connection.
All right. Just looking ahead here, Lakeside Speedway, you're going to tracks here you've been very successful at. With a 52-point lead heading into these next set of races, do you approach anything different than you have? How much does that be a factor as you go down the stretch here, Lakeside Speedway being the first track?
I think we got to just stick with our plan, our playbook, and focus on winning the races. I mean, that's what we've done from day one this year, and I sat my guys down before the season started, and I said, I want to win 25 races this year. And, and I asked Ricky, what's it going to take? And he's like, we got to have a good playbook. And we just worked on our car, and our car seems to be really fast on the bigger tracks, the high speed stuff, the board speed, the downforce stuff, where we get,
a little extra grip in our shocks, and our engines packages really run well on the big stuff. So we just got to keep focusing on that, and that's what we talk about before, we leave the shop to go to these races, and we got to keep doing our thing, and we can't get outside of our box, and that's it.
The thing I love most about Rico Abreu is he is on the level of the race fan. He connects with race fans better than any race car driver of any form of motorsports.
Yeah, when we did the one of the very first years Rico ran the Chili Bowl, we were doing the pay-per-view, and actually we were doing a lot of video, Kirk, back then, and we remember we followed Rico around for the day. As he went to a children's hospital.
He's not changed since then.
No.
He's the same guy.
And he went to a children's hospital during the day and went to some other place and done all these meet and greet. And he's still the same dude. He's the same cat. And I wish he'd have gotten a little better shake and run and the NASCAR side. I'm glad he isn't.
Well, he explained that. He said that there were some the situation just wasn't right.
Yeah, absolutely.
The timing wasn't right. He was with Thor Motorsports in that truck and just it wasn't really given enough of an opportunity to really develop.
Because Kirk, me and you both talked about, we thought there for a while that Kyle Larson and Rico Abreu might both be racing Indy cars.
Yeah.
Because Rico was at that time, man, he was being pushed. We talked to him in an interview. He had driven an Indy car already, practiced one, not at Indy, but I'm talking about an Indy-style car. So my thought is Rico may get another shot eventually, and now him teaming up with Tony Stewart, that only broadens your...
I don't know if Rico's going to do that again.
I'm talking about when he's older.
Yeah, maybe. But I think he's so invested in sprint cars now.
Oh, no, I agree. But
He's not even going to run the Chili Bowl anymore. He's not going to run any midgets anymore. He's going to focus in on 410 sprint car racing. You're not going to see Rico at the Chili Bowl running a midget.
Which is going to be a big loss down there.
Yeah. He's going back to Australia. Remember, he got hurt in Australia
absolutely, last year.
Broke his wrist.
Broke his wrist. And he said on that, when we had him on the podcast, literally, Kirk, what was that? It was the next couple of weeks. He said, I'm going back there because I feel like I owe those guys something because he had to leave. He didn't get the race. So I agree. That'll be a big loss. Here's my thought. Somebody like Brady Bacon or somebody like, I don't know, there's a Christopher Bell. Somebody will step up this year with some merchandise, Kirk, for the Chili Bowl. Now that Rico's Rico's going to have his Chili Bowl merch there. Don't get me wrong. You'll probably still find some merch from Chili because I think Rico's probably smart enough to figure a way to get some merchandise there. But what I'm saying is Rico's big presence down there at the Chili Bowl, Kirk. Time for maybe somebody else to step up.
He left his mark when he was there.
Absolutely. So maybe
won those two Chili Bowls. I've never seen a crowd reaction bigger than when Rico won that first Chili Bowl.
When he jumped off that top of that and dove into the crowd. So I agree, Kirk. This year, I don't know who it's going to be at the Chili Bowl picking up the win, but if I was somebody's merchandise team, I think I'd be stepping up the game and seeing if I could get me some. If I was Brady Bacon, here's my thought, Kirk. Brady Bacon needs to have a bacon hat, a hat that looks like bacon.
He'll be at the Chili Bowl.
He'll be there. That's a good hat to have out there. But there's always some good names. T-Mez.
Brady was at Lakeside last night.
That's right. I like you said. There's about 5 guys who takes care of the Racing Boys every year and has always taken care of the Racing Boys, and Brady Bacon has not once said no to an interview for us, so I appreciate it.
You know who else was at Lakeside? Sammy Swindell was at Lakeside.
Man,
he was driving one of Dan Lawson's cars. I think maybe the same car that Natalie Doney drives.
Oh yeah,
I'm
there
not
you
sure.
go.
Natalie, she's drives full time in the Power Eye Wing 410 sprint cars. Of course, Xavier was there last night too, but Sammy's been helping out that team a little bit.
Yeah, that's
trying
what I heard.
to help them get things dialed in, and Sammy was behind the wheel
of
the
Sammy.
second 74 car. He finished behind Xavier last night. Sammy started 11th, ended up 19th. Xavier Doney started 20th and ended up 13th.
So
and I went down Xavier after the race last night. I said, that was a pretty solid job coming from 20th to 13th and that kind of a
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. There's not a lot of passing going on. You make up that many So there was some passing that was to be had if you was
He passed some cars.
He got some passing
And
done.
the A feature was the best race of the night. That's the way it should be.
Well, and let me tell you something. That means it's trending to the right direction. So
Yeah.
tonight's going to be a good racing out there.
Preliminary races, not so much. But at least the A main.
Well,
was
and
good.
here's another thing. If they might have had maybe one other class on there, that dirt, it might have, I don't want to advocate for other classes being out there, but if they'd have had one more class out there, that track might have, got some of that water taken out of it. With some
Well,
more
just a
action on
little
it,
less
so.
water from the water truck.
That's
I
right.
don't think it's going to rubber down. That's what people, they worry about. They didn't want the track
Oh,
rubber
yeah, no,
down,
you don't
but
want to.
I don't think it was going to do that.
Absolutely.
Because moisture, in October, you prep a track different in October than you do in July or August.
Well, the temperature sure dropped quicker too. There's
Yeah.
not that heat just doesn't hang around in the afternoons like it does in the because when that sun drops.
Well, you remember that World of Outlaw race a couple of years ago
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
true.
They had too much water on the racetrack, and they had to bring the cars out to hot lap
did, I
to
remember.
run the track in.
I remember
They
that.
had to change tires. Then they put their race tires back on and brought them back out. And there was a concern that night that it was going to rain. The
That's
rain
right.
was coming, and they got it done just before the rains came.
So, like you said, it's a roll of the dice, Kirk. Either way, you don't want to be one way or the other. So, tonight's
just not so much water on the track.
So I think it'll be all good tonight. Head on
Yep.
out to Lakeside Speedway.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good racetrack tonight. It has been. Lakeside's been a good racetrack
All year.
We've seen
We talked
the Power Eye sprint cars that were out there a few weeks back.
Absolutely.
That was a good night. They had the after that the ASCS come back for that. Rain delayed. That was a light when they had the lights
went
go
bad,
out.
yep.
They brought them back in early September. I thought the track was excellent that night.
And every driver we've talked to has said the same thing. And Chase Rodman said the same thing when we talked to him. The track's really good, Kirk. So
I'll tell you where the track has been good all year long is Lucas Oil Speedway.
Get out there tonight.
They have nailed that track just about every time we've been down there. So I'm looking forward to heading down there next Wednesday and checking that out.
That'll be a good race Wednesday. Kirk will be following the high limits all across.
That's it.
From Kansas to Missouri.
That's it.
They were packed down there.
Little over 2 hours to Wheatland and about a half hour to Lakeside. It's not like I'm traveling across.
Not
the
a lot of
country,
traveling. So, but that's good though that you're able to see that kind of racing this close at this time of the year, Kirk. We're late into the season, and you're able to still find some great high quality sprint car racing.
Well, what makes this high limit so intriguing is the points battle
Absolutely.
is close.
It'd be
and you
different.
don't normally see tight point battles
Nope.
down to the wire in sprint car racing.
You're
but
right.
We're seeing it right now.
Yep. You
So
can't ask for
tonight,
much more.
the big drama is going to be how will Rico be able to
Can he bounce back
maintain
tonight?
his advantage on Brad Sweet?
He needs to
after
have a
tonight.
better draw tonight, Kirk. That's what he's hoping for, right?
Well, the dash is
That's what I meant for his
did
dash.
Rico in. On that fast of a racetrack.
But there'll be some
It
passing
was going to
tonight,
be
so-
hard to make up ground.
Well, I look for some passing tonight, and so if you're within the top 6, I think 6 to 8, I think you're going to have you got a chance to win this thing tonight. So it's going to be some good.
It just all depends on how you qualify
Mm-hmm.
and where you start and how you spin that wheel. That wheel spin is critical.
Can change, make or break you, can it,
Yeah.
Kirk? Well, Kirk will be out there. That'll be good. Scott was out there last night with you, and
He'll be.
and he'll
I
probably
would imagine he'll
I'm
be
sure he'll be back out there again tonight. And
Yeah.
like you said, if you see one of us, holler at us while we're out there. Come up and say hey to the racing boys.
Well, Aaron Reitzel came through with a second place finish last night. We ready to hear more Aaron Reitzel?
Yeah, absolutely.
He fell behind Brad Sweet for third in the late going, but it was able to get Sweet back for that second place showing last night. Earlier this week, we spoke with Aaron Reitzel. Here's part 2 of that conversation from Mostly Motorsports. How is the foot coming along? You're not using crutches right now. How you healing up here?
It's finally healing. It wasn't doing anything for a while. So I think it was 2 months and there was still no progress. So we were about to get on a bone stimulator machine and I went in to get all that set up, and we did x-rays, and just mysteriously, like, the last week, it started to finally heal, and it felt like we didn't need the bone stimulator anymore, so that was good. It's been a really, really slow process. Even the doctor, the specialist, was surprised how long it took, but it was a pretty severe break. So, but it's coming along now. Yeah, I think I've been able to walk now. I'm supposed to only put 25% weight on my foot. I'm probably doing a little more than that, but probably about 4 or 5 days now. I've finally been walking around.
How's the nose?
Oh, that's all water.
We forgot about that, didn't we?
Forgot about that. We're on to the next problem.
Yeah, the foot was a little bit more serious. It happened at Eldora Speedway at a time of the year where it's just really difficult. You missed Knoxville. You were out, about 10 high-limit races it looked like, but being out of Knoxville, how difficult was that?
It was really difficult. It was more depressing than anything. We were at a point where I felt like we were really fast. Confidence was way up. Coming into nationals, Gold Cup, Skagit, Kings Royal. I missed four 6-figure paying races. So, that was pretty depressing. Like that never happens when you're slow and need a break. Of course, it happens, when like team morale is at its highest and we're really good and confidence is up. And but it is what it is. At least that's all that happened. The way that crash was, it definitely could have been a lot worse. If the car was in a different spot when the 27 hit me, it definitely could have been a lot worse. And I'm thankful for that part of it. But just getting through it, and now we're back.
You're still in the owners, Ridge and Sons, still in the owners fight right now. You had Justin Sanders and some other drivers kind of fill in right there. It kind of kept you in the hunt as far as that goes. How big is that to be in the owners championship hunt?
So, yeah, Justin did a phenomenal job for us, keeping us in the fight there. The way that the high limit has it structured, which is, to me, it's the smartest way to do it. I've never realized it until we've had our incident, but it's all the pay goes to the owners. So, if we can get it done, we're going to need a little bit of luck, but anything can happen in 5 nights. But that's if we win it, pay-wise, we'd never even know that we didn't win the driver portion of it. But it all comes down to the owner portion, which, to me, it's the smart way to do it. And it makes more sense for the owners and drivers that like to have a deal like I do where, I didn't have to worry about getting shit canned or anything like that. It still was able to, at the end of the year, keep me in the money. So that's, they have it structured really well. But yeah, like I said, Justin did a great job for us out in California. We got him comfortable immediately, and he went and won 2 races and stayed consistent, and that kept us in the fight.
Boy, it didn't seem like you lost much there. The second night back at Port Royal, you won the feature event on a Friday night, so you've been pretty successful since getting back behind the wheel of a car. You won at Eldora right now. Just what was the feel like different when you jumped back in the car after being out for a couple of months?
It was tough where having the boot, and I'm still don't have all the feeling in my foot yet. It's starting to get better. It was hard because I feel like I drive with my toes, and you don't really lift off the pedal. You just kind of, release some weight and let the pedal pick your foot up. So I had no feel. on the pedal, so it was really hard to get figured out the first couple nights. The first night was really tough. There, I would think I was lifting, and I would never lift, and then I'd lift too much, and that's still having the boot and no feel still kind of gets me on on the slicker, smaller tracks where I'll lift too much or not enough, so I've had to focus on throttle and picking up my foot and this and that. So that was probably the hardest adjustment in getting back in. But other than that, I mean, as soon as I got back in, it was just business as usual. Felt right back at home.
You're heading to some racetracks you've done pretty well at. You finished 8th in the spring out here at Lakeside. You ran really well at Lucas Oil Speedway. Just kind of talk about the road ahead. A couple of nights at Lakeside Speedway. What are you looking towards that event?
I mean, I would like to go over there and rattle off 2 wins, and and hopefully, and then that would just whatever happens with Rico happens, or Brad's in it too still. But just if we can get down there and do our job, and things go our way, and we can get a couple wins, or win the first night, and then you're kind of set for the second night the way that they start the heat races the second night if you're in the top 4 from the previous night. Just basically just try to finish out this year on the podium. And I feel good about it. I've always liked Lakeside. Lucas Oil is a new love for me now. I feel like it's just Casey Schumann over there now. He's got the track really, really good, better than I've ever seen it. So looking forward to getting back there. And then Texas Motor Speedway, I've had a lot of success at. So excited for that to be the final.
What other events are you looking at besides the high limit? Are you going to take some more time off to really get fully healed off over the winter, or does that change any of your plans during the off season heading into next year?
We're kind of playing it by ear right now. If we do anything, it's looking like we'll probably run short track nationals and the Power Eye at Texas Motor Speedway, and that would be it for us if we do anything else.
Hopefully they get the short track. And what's it been, about 3 years since I-30 since we've seen a short track nationals? Let's hope Mother Nature cooperates down there in Texarkana this time.
Yeah, it's not been nice, that's for sure, because I know we were going to go, I think it has been 3 years, because we were going to go run the 360 portion of it, I think it was 2 years ago, and then now the 410 portion's been rained out twice.
I just got an answer. On the front of your wing, it says Aaron, and we just saw a video. I think, is that where that came from, that funny video that we saw on YouTube there, Todd?
Yeah, with the substitute teacher. That's exactly where it came from.
Right. We just saw that. That is hilarious.
Yeah, that was, I think that was back in like 2016 we did that.
Yeah, I just turned them on.
I always wondered that. I wondered where that came from, because I always seen that on your wing there, Aaron. Now I know the answer to that.
All sides made me do it, and everyone loved it, and it's been on there ever since.
That is so cool. Just to kind of talk about, we always like to talk about merchandise. You've got a lot of it out there. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, we've had the merchandise trailer. We don't take it out full time. But it's been really good this year, and even after we got hurt, the support we got from a ton of people was overwhelming, and it's really good community when something like that happens. It's amazing how many people step up and try to help, and the online sales, and merchandise has been really good this year.
Of the 10 wins that you've gotten this year, what stands out the most so far?
I would have to say that the Weichert win was probably the standout. $100,000 to win.
Yeah.
It was, that was my first 6-figure win, and I always love winning at Port. That's probably one of the places everywhere else it doesn't seem like I get boos and much anymore, but that's the one place that they're still relentless. So I love going there and winning and upsetting the crowd a little bit.
You kind of enjoyed that, didn't you? kind of feeding off the fans there?
I enjoy the hell out of it. I think it's more funny than anything. When they boo, I don't know if their plan is to hurt my feelings or what, but I think it's hilarious.
What makes PA sprint car fans different than anywhere else in the country?
They love their guys, and it's their guys or nothing, and they are relentless on it. And when you get into it, which me and Dietrich got into it a few times, and had some choice words over a mic before, and ever since then, they've absolutely hated me.
Yeah, he's the villain. He and Denny Hamlin, they ought to trade notes on this kind of stuff. They feed off of it. They love it.
And, David Gravel also kind of had a little bit as too, with his little beef that he had with.
Gravel had his own issues.
So
he got into it. He started making comments about Kyle Larson. Larson fans did not like that. So that
was pretty
David
good.
Gravel is the villain too. So.
Yeah. So it's and like you said, embrace it. And let me tell you something. Nobody like Aaron Reitzel embraces it. I mean, I love that for him, and like you said, he
plays that role very well, and I think you got to have that in racing.
And then
you got to have the bad guy.
Yeah, and then the funny thing, like you said, Kirk had never seen that substitute teacher, the Key and Powell.
Yeah, what's that? If they want to get that is one of the more hilarious videos I've seen. If they want to go Google that, how do they bring that up?
You just do a substitute. Just go to YouTube and type in substitute teacher. And Key and Powell, Key and Peele.
It'll have you rolling, and that's where the Aaron came out.
And it's been a pretty famous skit for quite a while. Like you said, it's been around for 12 years, so he's had it on his car for a while. But like you said, if you haven't,
I'd never seen it before.
Kirk had never seen it, and Scott hadn't seen it. So I came over here on that Monday because at the end of that race, Kirk. The announcer says, and coming to the flags, Aaron. And so.
Well, it's on the front of his wing.
Yeah.
So.
And so I told Kirk, I said, you know where that comes from, right? And he said, no, I did not know. And I said, well, it's a very, very famous, and it was, it's just a little stand-up comedy routine, but I can pull up a little bit of the audio from the end where he kind of talks about it.
And churlish.
So, You gotta know.
Take your ass on down to Oshag Hennessy's office right now and tell him exactly what you did.
And Kirk thought this, like I said.
Oshag Hennessy.
Principal O'Shaughnessy.
It's like I say, when Kirk was watching it, we were over here dying, wasn't we, Kirk? So
yeah, that's so funny.
And so, like you said, if you hadn't been lucky enough to see that little comedy sketch, just type in substitute teacher and you'll see where the Aaron comes from. So yeah, good stuff, Kirk. Who you think's going to win out there tonight, out there at Lakeside Speedway?
I have no clue. Maybe Aaron.
I'm going to go with my pick is actually Aaron, and then Rico would be my backup pick. But
Brad Sweet, he's going to be in the mix.
He's going to still be in the mix. He was finished.
I think Rico's going to run better than he did last night.
Yeah, well, obviously, like you said, I think that the track's probably going to be a little bit better shape tonight. So I expect some passing.
When it gets too fast, and this is like any kind of racing, when they go too fast, it's hard to pass.
Yeah,
we
know that as far as at Lakeside, it's a fast track, Kirk. I mean,
and they were zipping it around there last night. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you another guy that is fun to root for, and that's Tim McCready. T-Mac won again last night. He's won back-to-back World of Outlaw late model features. After winning at 81 Speedway last Saturday night, he drives to a victory in night one of the two-night weekend at Boot Hill Speedway down in Louisiana. And last weekend, Ryan Ragland was at both Humboldt and 81 Speedway. He interviewed some of the drivers afterwards. He had a visit with T-Mac after his victory last Saturday night. Let's hear some of that right now.
Here at the Port Royal Speedway.
We're gonna bring that. We're bringing it up. We post that on YouTube.
Cressel Memorial here at 81 Speedway, and
something about you and switching over to Longhorn's just been a really, really good change for you. Just something you know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were really good in the Rockets, and we were gaining. And it just, I don't know what happened this spring. We just couldn't really get going, and a lot of it might have been me. We were trying too many things. I don't know, but the Longhorn stuff for me has just been what I've done the last probably 6, 7, 8 years of my career, especially being as a house car guy that was part of like, hey, we'll design stuff and try stuff and what works and what doesn't, including the shocks. I mean, the Bilstein shocks was on our car when nobody else really even had them. So like, for me to come back and do that, it's just kind of like gets me comfortable, and I don't have all the answers all the time, but I feel like I don't make as many mistakes, and also part of it is that at this time in my point of my career, I don't know if I could wait. You know what I mean? Mark's going to get it. I mean, he's too good to not get it with Richards and them, but I don't know. I mean, I'm in my early 50s, so I'm trying to run on a tour with a bunch of young guys, so I got to try to do what I can do till it's over with. So it's been good so far.
And winning tonight, just that added excitement. It's like you could kind of see at the beginning of the year, I mean, you weren't on TV as much and everything, but you could kind of tell you're trying to figure it out. And all of a sudden, as soon as you made that switch, it's like that excitement, that gleam, and you know, you do a donut in turn 4 coming back. I mean, that's the Tim McCready we like to see.
Well, you know, you don't get a lot of times to celebrate. There is guys that win a lot of races, and I win my share, but it's never maybe on the volume that some of these other guys do. So whether it's, you know, a few grand to win or mega grand, you know, 20 or 30 grand to win or 100, I act the same. I'm so excited to just do this, and so fortunate to have people that let me do it, like Boom, who basically took most of his year off of even racing so I could do this. It's pretty cool, and just keep the sun up as long as we can, right? I keep trying to push the sun up for another day.
Tonight with the win, obviously the track conditions, the way it started to seal down about midway through. Early you had to get what you could at the time, and you know, you and Shirley had a little contact and you guys talked about it. It's just kind of a racing deal, but you get in that situation where you have to force an issue to get better your situation, and when you know it's going to lock down, you know that position is huge.
Yeah, I mean, I probably maybe got a little over anxious early. I just was so good on the outside, and I had such a run, and I didn't. That was probably one of the lowest he went into the corner. I didn't expect it, and I was never going to clear him out of slider, so I just tried not to hit him. And it might have made it worse. Car kind of sit and slid, and I thought, well, hopefully he knows I'm here, so he can either move up or cross me over. And then I felt him, and I thought, crap. But it's not like I went in there and, you know, really got into him. I mean, I think he was expecting me to maybe slide him and clear him, and then when I lifted early, like when I saw him cut left and I lifted, I thought, uh-oh, this isn't good. I was just trying my best to not get into him, and it happened. He said it was barely a little rub. It looks probably way worse, but I also don't want to take the lead like that. But I figured if he was better, he has one in the bank, and he could give me one down the road, or could have gave me one later in the night. It's you know, him and I've raced up and down the road a lot together. He's a good guy. We're close. We don't talk every day, but if I'm in trouble, I need advice, I'll call him, vice versa. So I mean, nothing I do anymore is with intent very often. So, and he's the same way. Like we just race hard, and but I also thought if he knows that outside's there and I don't get there quick, he's gonna get up there, and then I don't know if I can do anything with him. And then after that, it was just a matter of knowing when it was going to lag down. Unfortunately, like I was saying, this place race is amazing. I guess they should just did a little bit of work. I'm anti-track prep all night long, but they needed maybe a little bit more because it was racing really fun. It reminded me, like I said earlier, of racing at I-80. It was wherever you wanted to run, you could run, and unfortunately at the end it did lag down, and it's just conserve and don't run into the lap cars, and guy passes you, you just tip your cap. You know, it's hard to pass in the rubber. As long as you don't mess up, it's really hard to pass in the rubber.
Plus, you're running this special wrap that it's just, I mean, it's something about it. I've never seen it before. I haven't been able to research much of what your dad did, but that wrap just looks nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. He had, when I was growing up, obviously when he was winning all the time, and he had different cars, but when he finally settled in, that was kind of the car of like late 80s all the way through the 90s, and early 90s, late 80s, whatever, and it just was we wanted, these guys wanted to do something. I didn't even know they were going to do it. We had the car I was running and, honoring my dad and my family with the number 9. And then they came out with this right before Eldora and showed it to me, and it was hard not to get choked up. And the outpouring of people from Watertown, New York, where we grew up, and just my dad's crew guys and people that are around him his whole life, and it was pretty cool. And we weren't going to run it that much, but just kind of like you said tonight, it's just been such a popular deal, and everybody seems to really like it. And now we've won with it, which is awesome, because if he was driving it, he would have already won several times with it. So, I'm doing him a little bit of justice, finally putting that thing in Victory Lane. He used to put it in there so much that when we didn't win, it was not a lot of fun at the track. So, but yeah, it's so cool, and just it's really the Briggs family, Boom, his brother and his mother. A lot of the sponsors, Dave Warren, that are just put this all together. You know what I mean? I can't thank him enough. I just remember now I forgot Dave Warren in Victory Lane, so I owe him an apology. But we'll get it right if we get back there again.
Well, the momentum you're setting up is absolutely huge going into Charlotte. This is, it's like a college basketball team getting ready for the tournament. This is when you want to start peaking.
Yeah, because we had, like at Eldora, I thought we were good. We had a motor failure, unfortunately, sometimes you feel like it puts you behind. So this motor runs every bit as good, and it's just trying to figure out how to tune on this car. And I've just been missing something, and maybe tonight we tried something we hadn't tried in a while, and maybe tonight was something that can prolong it all the way to get to Charlotte. It'd be awesome to go down there. We are taking this car down there, this paint scheme, to go down there, because there'll be so many big block modified people, and just, it's like everybody from motorsport and our divisions are all there. So it'll be exciting. But yeah, it'll be cool to build up, and hopefully we can, finish the season strong and build for next year. It'd be cool to start off on equal terms with our stuff, hopefully the way it is right now, right, where it's fast enough to win everywhere, and see what we can do with some of these guys like in the points next year.
Well, congratulations on the Ed Gressel Memorial win tonight. It was fun to watch. Track is what like I said, it was kind of a 50-50. You either prep it and it may lock down, you don't. It did, but everyone runs the same deal. But like I told Nick Hoffman, it comes down to where you're qualifying to set yourself up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's tough. Last night we qualified outside pole and fell back to third in a heat, and it just put us behind. Ended up only getting up to sixth, and I thought we had a decent car last night. And then you come here today and we qualify better, we heat race better. Fell to third early, which probably helped me find the track a little bit better. If I got the lead, I might not have moved and got my pants pulled down. But I got to move around a little bit behind Hoffman, and got the yellow came out at the right time. And just sometimes it goes your way, and it is a shame it locked down. But that's I go to a lot of places to do this. They did an awesome job at the racetrack all night. They just need to pay attention, do something a little. They know they were doing it right for this race, so they know, and next year it won't happen again. So what's what you want on track, people, is that come back, they make it better, just like we do with these cars every day.
Well, I could sit and talk to you for a half hour and just go on and on. You go celebrate the night. Great run tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That was Ryan Ragland's interview with Tim McCready following his victory last Saturday night at 81 Speedway, and then he goes to Boot Hill Speedway last night and does it again, outrunning Bobby Pierce for the victory. Cody Overton, Nick Hoffman, and Dennis Erb Jr. rounds out the top 5. Tim McCready is only one of 3 drivers that have won championships in both the Lucas Oil and the World of Outlaws. He won the 2006 World of Outlaw Championship. He won back-to-back titles in the Lucas Oil Series in 21 and 22. And so he's one of the all-time greats of dirt late model racing. T-Mac.
T-Mac. Thanks, Ryan, for getting that good interview and all the interviews for the weekend. And he also sent me some photos. I couldn't get them downloaded at the time for the show, but I'll get those posted up on our social media pages as well. But we always appreciate Ryan taking care of us on the late models. He's our late model guy, and has been our late model guy for as long as I can remember, Kirk. So
hey, big late model weekend next weekend at Eldora Speedway. It's the Dirt Track World Championship, the 45th annual event that will pay $100,000 to win. It wraps up the Lucas Oil late model season next weekend. And Devin Moran holds a 15-point lead over Ricky Thornton Jr. heading into the final. You think that's going to be interesting to watch?
That's going to be a barn burner right there, man.
Yes, sir.
When you get points that are that close. everything gets thrown out the window.
So I'm thinking that Devin's got to really work hard to hang on to this one.
Yep,
he almost won it a couple of years ago. You remember when they had a one-race winner-take-all?
Yeah, that's right.
2 years ago. Now they stretch that out to where it's over a 3 or 4 race period. They take the top 4 and they battle it out. But that one night, Devin Moran came within one corner of winning that championship.
Think he's still thinking about that right now?
Hudson O'Neal ended up winning that night. But last year, it was Ricky Thornton Jr., the champion. He won over $200,000 in prize money. That pays pretty big money.
Good stuff.
If Ricky Thornton Jr., he won the World 100 here about a month ago, you know. If he can go in there and win the $100,000 for winning the race, plus another $200,000 for winning the championship, that's pretty good payday.
That put a pretty good cap on your year, right? When you're pulling in those kind of, taking those giant cardboard checks to the bank, you bring those big ones in there, or do you just get a little one? I'd take that big one with me just so everybody knows I'm coming in with something big.
Hey, before we go, Scott and I went out to Flying H Drag Strip last Saturday night to watch the Funny Cars and Top Fuel dragsters. It's my first Nitro fix in 2 years since Heartland Park closed, and that was great seeing the Nitros out at Flying H Drag Strip for the first time last Saturday night. Let's hope in the next couple of years we see an NHRA national event. That is a world-class drag strip, Todd.
Absolutely.
The lighting was great. They got a great PA system out there. There was a pretty decent-sized crowd milling around out at Flying H Drag Strip. It was kind of fun. Scott and I were roaming around the grounds of the old I-70 Speedway.
Did you get your eyes to water a little?
Night.
Get your eyes water a little bit?
Yeah.
And get that smell in you. Nothing can compare to first-timers ever being that close. Now, I've been, Kirk, I'd been to a lot of drag races back in my day, but I had never been up close when they're doing the, what do they call that, where they do the warm-up, the shakedown, and
makes your eyes water.
And me and Kirk and Scott were doing we did a track talk show one time from inside a merch booth there up there at Heartland Park. And first hour, not a big deal, but we're inside. We have the windows closed, and it's got metal on the windows because it's the kind they roll down. They open them up for selling.
The building.
And man, 10 o'clock, they told everybody, 9:55, they're going to be warming these engines up. So just know, because people like to gather around, don't they, Kirk? They gather around, and me and you were in there. We were counting down. We had like 5 minutes left in that show, and I literally thought the building was something had blown up. I had never seen a building.
That's your first experience with it.
That close and inside of a building next. I've been next to a car before, but never in a building next to it that shook with that had metal doors and rafters on it. That thing shook. And so I tell everybody also, that was also the first time I ever experienced where I actually saw the gravel on the ground, Kirk, was shaking when they revved those engines up. The gravel was just bouncing. That's how.
They give it a little throttle.
And they have to have people holding that car down. So good for you guys. I'm glad you guys got to go out there to Flying H. And
yes, sir.
I think they got good things in the future coming for them.
The NHRA is down at the Texas Motorplex this weekend. They had Friday night qualifying last night. Sean Langdon set the quick ET in Top Fuel. Austin Prock in Funny Car, Greg Anderson in Pro Stock, and Richard Gadsden in Pro Stock Motorcycle. You can watch that on FS1 this weekend. I picked Kyle Larson to win at Vegas. What's your pick?
I'm going to go Ryan Blaney, and then I'm going to throw I don't know.
We got to have a backup pick.
I got to have a backup pick, and I hate to say maybe Denny Hamlin's going to get it. So I'm Blaney and
I'm thinking a non-playoff driver will be my backup.
That's going to be your backup. So
I'm going to go with. I'm just going to throw one out there. How about Ryan Preece?
How about that?
For RFK Racing. That's off the rails, isn't it?
That's a throwing a dart right there. So you're going to have, who was your main driver though? Who'd you say?
Larson.
Well, like I said, I'm going to go with the world's most popular driver, NASCAR's most popular driver,
Chase,
Elliott. And then Ryan Blaney. I changed my mind on the Denny.
Pretty good here lately, isn't he?
I'm going to go with Chase and Ryan Blaney. So
and then we got Talladega next weekend. So who knows?
Well, that's always that's just a toss-up right there, Kirk Elliott. Anytime you roll out onto that big track,
wild card.
Anything could happen out there.
Todd, thanks a lot for being here. We'll
Thank
do it
you, man.
on Monday.
Appreciate
we'll be here to post our Mostly Motorsports podcast.
Absolutely. We had a good one last week. Rico Abreu and Aaron Reitzel. If you did not get to listen to that interview, if you want to hear the full interview, because we cut some of that stuff out, go to wherever you get your podcast.
We'll also be watching the World of Outlaws out at Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.
We'll see if the PA posse can ride the rails tonight. Anthony Macri is back after being out of the race car for a couple of weeks.
That's
he
right.
had some mechanical issues last night. Carson Macedo won last night at New Egypt, New Jersey. They're at Lincoln Speedway where they have no flagman. So we'll be watching that on Dirt Vision tonight. High Limit and all kinds of racing going on.
Anywhere
here this
you,
weekend.
all local. Get out there to a track today, Kirk. It'll be fun. Have fun out there at Lakeside. I appreciate it. If you're out there, Kirk, and you need anything, just give me a buzz. You know I'm real close.
Well, you're close by. Just
I'm
come
real
on
close.
out.
Heck, if something happens and you step in a mud puddle or something, Kirk, you can come over and get cleaned up at my house. There you go.
Thanks for all you do, my
Thanks,
friend.
Kirk. I appreciate it.
For my partner, Scott Traylor, I'm Kirk Elliott. Join us on Monday for Mostly Motorsports. We'll be right back here next Saturday for another edition of Track Talk. We're brought to you by Rod End Supply, featuring the POWRi Midwest Lightning Sprints. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Go harder, faster, stronger with Rod End Supply. Whether you are running industrial, farming equipment, or a race car, Rod End Supply has the assortment of rod ends, radius rods, and specialty products that will help you lead the field in performance. Our superior design means our rod ends last longer and perform better, giving you the edge on the track and saving you money. Contact Rod End Supply or order online today at rodendsupply.com. We don't just sell them, we race them. rodendsupply.com. Serving the racing community for over 30 years.